Hi guys, here we are, day 4 of the Red Rocks to Mountaintops adventure ride. It's been an awesome ride so far. We're here in Monticello, Utah. We actually stayed up the canyon last night. We were gonna stay in town. We were ready for another motel. We've been kind of taking it easy on this one, but it was booked for some reason. So we cruised up the canyon, found a nice easy spot right off the road, set up our tents. And now we're just down here topping off with fuel. We're gonna head down Montezuma's Creek. It's a cool little wash. It's got awesome hills have eyes kind of stuff going on. But we'll cruise down there and then we'll come out in Blanding, and then we'll top off one more time and head over to Bears Ears. But right now, just grabbing some breakfast off the rollers. It's the breakfast of champions, right? But yeah, we'll catch you down the road. After a quick fuel up, we're off on to the next section. This section is a little over 60 miles to the next gas stop in Blanding. It's just a few miles of slab to get us out of town and back to the dirt.
Ooh, that air feels good.
The start of Montezuma Creek Road is one of those spots where it's deceiving what's coming up next. You're up on top of this wide open vista, and then you don't see the landscape of the canyon coming until you're down in the thick of it. The gravel road is a bit marbly and loose enough to keep you on your toes, especially first thing in the morning. Once you hit the bottom, the road smooths out and the surprises start.
What's up guys, we're down in Montezuma Canyon right now. We just dropped into here. It's a super fun canyon to ride, and as you can see behind me, there's a house built into the side of the hill, and there's a handful of them throughout this whole canyon. It's pretty fun to ride. The road starts out marbly. Last year when we rode it, it got sandier and it turned out to be pretty fun. We'll see when we get there this year what it's like. I'm assuming it'll still be sandy and fun. You can go through the corners and kind of pick your lines, and just good adventure riding. A little bit of, like I said, hard packed sand, a lot of different surfaces. And the further on we go, there's Indian dwellings as we get further in there, and some kivas to check out. So it's definitely worth checking out. It's a fun part of the trip. The canyon feels like it goes on forever. It's right around 60 miles, and you'll just be looking around the whole time. There's always something to see.
Oh, hey, there's the vineyard. This was, last time I came through here, a guy come running out on the road. Actually scared me pretty bad. Comes running out right in front of me, slides in front of me, and waving me down, so I stop and come back, and his mom or someone who owns a vineyard and has been out here, and he just a little lonely, I think is what it was. But it was way cool. He was stoked on adventure bikes. That's awesome. Hay barn.
This is where there are some cool Pueblo cliff dwellings to check out. They're pretty easy to miss, so definitely keep an eye out for them along the road. Farther down the canyon, there's a kiva that's been restored that you can crawl down into. We've been by here 3 times now and thought we'd finally stop to check it out. Dude, I hope everything's okay. Dropping down into a dark hole. There's just a lizard right there. It scared me a little bit. But it was like 3 minutes of it. It was forever. Yeah, that was cool.
Do you think this is how it was when they lived in it? It almost looks like there's like room up there to...
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe this is just to support it.
So yeah, we don't know that much about this, but make sure and check out the blog because there will be information. After a near-death experience with a very large and curious lizard,
we pull out the end of the wash and start making our way towards Blanding. One of the parts of adventure riding that we have really started to enjoy is our Cardo pack tops that we've mentioned earlier in the ride. I've always been a fan of having my music going, but it seems like with every software and hardware update, these communication units are getting better and better. There does, however, seem to be some random conversations that get caught on the cameras.
Are you a PTOs guy?
A what kind of guy?
PTOs guy.
Oh, hells yeah, I'm a PTOs guy, but it's mostly on the little bikes though. On the big bikes, more of a Swedish fish kind of guy.
I feel like you can't go wrong with the watermelon, Sour Patch watermelons.
I think you can. I think that's so wrong.
Still straight?
No, turn left.
Oh, turn
Sorry,
left.
right.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Oh. The great navigator.
Dude, you got me thinking about PTOs.
Sorry for the distraction.
Yeah. We better go back and film that again. Oh, that was awesome. That was pretty funny. So we got up here and I said, go left. And he kind of faded like he's going right. So I'm like, oh, I got it wrong. And so they said, no, go right. So he's like, so he went right. No, we're going left. I was right the first time. At least I got all that on GoPro. We're absolutely gonna go left.
Going left. Okay.
Do you wanna go by me?
Sure. Actually, I don't know. I'm questioning your navigation now.
Oh, you totally faded the wrong way. And so I'm like, did I say that wrong? The other way.
Well, I just like how you let me go all the way down the hill till I couldn't hear you anymore without telling me.
As we pull into Blanding, this is an important gas stop because the next gas station or store of any kind is about 170 miles away. At this point, we have identified two routes. There is the harder route we are taking, and then there is an almost equally stunning slab section. They both meet up in about 25 miles. This is also a good time to bring up the length of the day. We ended up doing it in one day, but if we were doing it again, we would take it easy and add another night, especially because the camping and views are so awesome along the route today. There are almost endless places to camp between Bears Ears and Moab. Check out the blog for some of our favorite spots. As we head out of town, the road quickly changes to our type of road. Long gravel dirt roads with some great overlooks towards southern Utah and northern Arizona. As we drop off Comb Ridge, it's tough to keep your eyes on the trail because the views are so awesome. I find it hard to believe that we are on the old Highway 95 route. It is a steep drop. There are a ton of roads through this area that need exploring. Muley Point isn't far away, and Monument Valley is within reach. Just keep in mind that we weren't able to ride our motorcycles through the park on another trip because they were, quote, dirt bikes. We tried arguing and lost. I guess this is a no before you go. There's plenty of other exploring to do in the area. This little section combined with the drop-off Comb Ridge is a reason for the alternate route. Not too bad, but it could be a mess if you were on a big bike and by yourself. This next little section is a ton of fun. It dumps us right out at the House of Fire ruins and Mule Canyon. We hit Highway 95 for a little section of slab as we work our way towards Bears Ears. We turn off the highway towards natural bridges and then turn off again into the dirt and climb towards Bears Ears.
So just taking a break at Bears Ears, it's a really good place to stop, to get a little snack, relax for a minute. But the cool thing about Bears Ears is you look off the one side and it's all desert landscape and beautiful vistas. But on the other side, you're gonna start climbing, you're gonna be in big pine trees, and it's like a dividing line between the two different kinds of ecosystems. It's crazy. Definitely cool.
There are a ton of roads out here, and I start scheming every time I look at a map. The route through these mountains stays up over 8,000 feet and usually gives us some cooler temps as we cruise through the tall pines. Instead of looping through Beef Basin, we take Gooseberry. It's a killer road. Take note that this is one of the areas that are great for camping if you like the higher elevation.
So this is probably a good point to let you know about Stevens Canyon. So it's actually a hard alternate that drops down. We've had a lot of good times through this little wash. Hopefully it's the same way today. But yeah, it's rocky, it can be loose sand, it can be wet. Definitely worth doing if you're feeling a little spunky, but if not, we've got a nice easy alternate. And then it's just on to Lockhart Basin.
This is where the routes come back together again. This is one of my favorite parts as well, with all the big vistas and all the big drainages and all the buttes all coming back together. It's really a sight to see. At this point, we're back to a little pavement as we work our way towards Lockhart Basin and the red rocks that we were missing. We then make it to Lockhart. There are some campgrounds here, and then there's some primitive camping almost anywhere. We have stayed here before, and it is nice. Lockhart has a couple good challenges to keep you on your toes, but mostly it's all about the scenery. We need to do a better job of stopping and pulling out the chairs through here. We're all getting a bit worn out at this point on the trail, but the scenery and the thought of some good grub back in Moab keeps us going.
Are you surviving?
I'm on my last leg. So, due to some peer pressure, I tried to wheelie up 2 steps. I didn't quite make it, and kind of knocked that loose with my chest when I ate the bars. So, yeah, good times. It would be a success if I did.
Eric, what's the fix?
If I only had some duct tape. It's actually just zip ties. So, but I think we're gonna be fine.
The 690 will live another day. Bloody hell. Oh, geez.
So, funny story about this little canyon that we have named Bloody Hell Pass. Going up it with a loaded ADV bike is definitely a challenge, and going down makes you pucker a bit. It's not really a big deal. There is a certain member of our group that has a tendency to talk up how frightening a section can be. We all have that guy in the group. This one was blown all out of proportion until it was all we were talking about. To make it even more entertaining, the footage makes it look even easier. All in good fun. the Chicken Corners Jeep Trail is right here close and is a little bonus addition that you'll see on the GPS tracks. If you have time, it's a cool lookout over the Colorado River. The road works this way along the cliffs and through Hurrah Pass and down Cane Springs Road down into Moab. These are some of the legendary views Moab and this dark red rock have to offer. And then, just when we think we'll all make it into Moab without a hitch.
So, Justin and his DRZ.
DRZ to the rescue!
Coming to the rescue. Grabbing some fuel on the...
Okay, well the last loop is not enough for the 450L and the IMS 3.2 gallon tank. So we're gonna fill it up using DRZ or the 690. Good ride though.
Hey, and this is a good place to stop, good place to run out of gas, because we got some Indian petroglyphs right here on the rocks.
You got water. We'll call it right there. See ya.
Once the 450L gets its fuel donation, we head into Moab for a well-deserved meal at Pasta J's before calling it a ride. And what a ride it was. All right, guys, there you have it. That is the Red Rocks to Mountaintops adventure ride. Want to go over this one more time. This ride is probably has the most exposure. It's probably one of the most technical, challenging rides that we've shared with you. So make sure you're riding within your abilities. You know, it's going to take some parts and accessories to get your bike ready to go. Make sure and check out our site at RockyMountainATVMC.com. There's still way more information on our blog at RM Rider Exchange. And if you like content like this, make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time.